Remember, the views and opinions of Randy Pratt do not necessarily represent the views and opinions of Kristen Pratt, Randy's children, or anybody associated with New Leaf Publishing Group. Youngest daughter, 9, is going through a phase right now. Absolutely everything I ask her is responded with great moaning and sighing and other sorts of drama. It also translates over in her schoolwork with a lot of bad brain thinking. She has dealt with anxiety for much of her life, and often when we try to speak to her, snap out of these attitudes, she shuts down and doesn't speak whatsoever. Just recently, we started to see an improvement in the area. Any counsel on what wording to try with her? So my initial thought on it is, just by the way you're phrasing this, you're kind of taking the burden that she has of having to deal with it, and you want her to have a good attitude, to get over it, to just do it with a good attitude. That almost like relieves the pain for you because she's going through something, right? So you have reactive empathy. You're reacting to her. You're responding to her, and almost like carrying the burden of that, wanting her to work out of it. And so almost like a codependency type thing. What I would encourage you to do is have a little bit of non-reactive empathy, which is, I can have empathy for you that you don't want to do this because I wouldn't want to do it either. However, you're going to do it. So cry loud, cry soft. It really doesn't matter. Just get it done. And then turn your back and let her have her emotions. And don't become part of the coping mechanism that she's working through. And see if it increases or decreases, right? Like, parenting isn't easy, so I don't know that you can just apply something and it fixes. I think that you test things, you growth hack parenting. It's not a perfect science. And then think about, a lot of times our kids are a reflection of us. When I'm given a task, or my spouse is given a task that they don't want to do they whine, gripe, throw tantrums? Do they fuss and fume? I tend to make a lot of noise like that. Like, if I've got to do something that I really don't want to do, I'm not like just, oh goody. That's just not me. It takes me, part of the process, part of the fuel is being upset that I got to do it, and then getting through it, right? So I'm not saying that we always want to encourage those attitudes, but I think we want to be careful not to be part of the processing of that. Because once they have the understanding that we'll step into that place and try to make it better, it's like we're teaching them that all they need to do is whine and moan, and suddenly I'll start to negotiate with them. Yeah, that's the best phrase. And that's what you don't want to be. You don't want to be negotiating in that place if you've told them to do something. It's basically just, get over it and do it. And thus, they want to negotiate with you. And then if they negotiate with you, it has to be at a high level, but they run the risk of losing negotiation. And, one thing you could add is, I will let you negotiate, but if you negotiate with me and you lose, not another word. And that's that. So, good. Hey, well, this was fun hanging out with you guys. I hope there were some nuggets that were useful. If not, throw it away, right? So, yeah, it's really good to be part of this tribe, and what an honor and a privilege it is for us to serve you and your families. And I'm so excited about this coming school year. I really am. I can't tell you. I think never in my lifetime have I felt the weightiness of the importance of what we do, what you're doing right now in discipling your children. You're preparing them, you're equipping them for life, but you're also equipping them as ambassadors. Like, you're training the next generation of ambassadors for the kingdom. and they're going to be in places. They're going to be like, think about it. What did it take to train Paul, right? Or David, or Moses? Like, those journeys weren't perfect. Moses ends up in another culture, being trained in that culture, and then has, runs like a coward out of Egypt, and yet the Lord brings him back and uses him for deliverance. David was a man after God's own heart, and yet completely missed the mark on other things. As you look at different people in Scripture, you think, we see them in certain highlight reels and we think it must have been perfect to create them. No, it wasn't. And they're not perfect, right? But that's not what it's about, because what it's about is serving the one who is perfect. And so we're teaching and training and preparing them and equipping them to pursue hard after the things of Christ, and then to share with as many other people as possible the hope of Jesus Christ, which is that this is all fading away, and it doesn't mean anything in the comparison of eternity. And in eternity, we experience the joy, the peace, the presence of the Lord. And as ambassadors of his kingdom, we want to share that good news, that there's an open invitation to participate in the family of God, in the present and in eternity. That's like crazy good news that we can share. So again, I'm just like super excited that we have this opportunity to disciple our kids. I'll end on this, but sounds like a sermon. I'm going to land the plane and end on this. I've been researching master books to some of the other curriculum that's being chosen for hybrid schools, right? Like, there's just curriculum like IEW, Institute for Excellence in Writing, Good and Beautiful, Shirley English, some of these other programs. And as I look at them and I'm like, okay, what's the difference, right? Like, I see the benefit of you have a daily schedule and you have kind of an integrated whole child approach. You have different things that are stimulating the brain and thinking and all of that type of thing. The one thing that really stands out to me is, but they don't teach about Jesus. Like, we have this opportunity to teach our children about Jesus, and we're choosing something that avoids that. I'm like, if nothing else, like, if Scripture says to gain the whole world but to lose your soul would be a tragedy. And so it's like, here we have this opportunity to actually teach them how to communicate effectively and learn and increase their faith. And in anything that you choose, I would just encourage this audience, it doesn't have to be master books, but by all means, make sure that you don't waste the opportunity to teach your children about the good news of Jesus Christ and the creator of the world. Like, that's just so, don't waste the opportunity. As you get to my age and your kids are gone, and you don't get a second chance with your kids. Like, it's, once they get to a certain point, they begin to move on the trajectory of their life. It's like we put them in and we get ready to launch them, and all that time you're controlling the trajectory. And then once you let it go, they're gone. And I just want to encourage you, while you have the chance, invest in them eternally, invest in them. As the Lord, as Scripture says, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they're old, they will not depart from it. It doesn't mean they're going to have perfect lives. It doesn't mean they're not going to make a mistake. But by all means, don't waste the opportunities to share with your children the good news of Jesus Christ and to educate them, infused in the creator of it. Language is a miracle. Like, language is a miracle. And when we look at just how God created us to be able to communicate, that in and of itself speaks of a creator who has a purpose. So, just my encouragement, you guys, the work you're doing is so important. And there, for years in eternity, throughout the ages, There will be people who are impacted by the work you're doing today. There are people you will never meet 2, 3 generations, 5 generations from now that because of the work you're doing will be impacted and be able to say, thank you for the sacrifices you made. Thank you for the stand you took. Thank you for investing in your children. And it's because of that that my family is saved and we are here today. So don't give up. All right? All right, guys. God bless you. I hope this was good. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for your time and attention. We'll see you next week. All right. God bless.